I think it's also like another application of the question is just like, how does that affect like the job market, and how does that affect like, people who are studying like stuff like computer science? And so it's like now people are like having these discussions about like what jobs and professions aren't able to be replaced by AI. And it's like that's a conversation I think we're going to just keep having like as the job market continues to get like hopefully not worse and worse, but more than likely will. But I think a lot of it comes down to just the way that these big corporations are kind of like justifying these huge layoffs and cuts. Like people are like cutting off thousands of people's jobs for the sake of AI. And it's just like that's what's going to make everybody think that is. But I feel like a lot of companies do use it as a cop out too. Like they don't actually, like they just want to use it as a reason to like fire more people and increase gross margin and profits and just be greedy. So, yeah, I feel like it's a ton of like ways you can go down. But I mean, like in summary, I definitely do think the AI hype is real. It's just like I think like if you don't like, I think it is, you are definitely more like likely to get replaced if you don't at least attempt to understand. Like, I'm not saying you don't have
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be an
for
AI
sure.
guru. I'm not saying you have had to work at Google DeepMind for 15 years, but I'm saying like you should at least know how to like use these tools and have a basic understanding of it to keep up with the times for real.
Yeah, that's a perspective I didn't really think about when you asked the question in terms of like how like that. I was thinking more of in terms of like for me like how useful it's been, but I can see it from like a perspective of like the world and like capitalism and how people are trying to literally put
Yeah.
AI in this outer space, which I think is like
I'm telling you, it's
insane.
insane,
Yeah,
bro.
it's insane. I guess it's like another perspective in terms of like in the education side of how AI
Mhm.
is just like you said with computer science, completely revolutionizing how people are learning. And how it's actually affecting like smaller institutions like HBCUs dramatically as well, and on both sides. So restrictions or legislation on how students use AI, and that's something that's still like really being thought about today on how we like manage our classes and the education system to change with AI. And I mean, it. I think we're too slow on how we're changing how we utilize AI already, and that just kind of talks about how the AI hype is real because students aren't really learning they're learning completely different ways than they used to in the past. And I think it's really important that we have to acknowledge that and change the ways that our professors teach and how degrees are like affected because a degree in computer science is not as valuable as it was before, or it's just not the effect is just not the same. So
That's facts. That's facts. I think realistically too, you got to think like I've actually seen some people say, they're telling their family members not even to go to college if they're trying to go for computer science and just spend that money you would spend on college on AI, like spend it on tokens, spend it on programs and learning the stuff at home. And realistically, if you're just trying to code and build, you a lot of the people that do that stuff, I don't a lot of people made a lot of stuff without college. I mean, obviously, we look at Mark Zuckerberg, these like unicorn people, like one-off examples. But now you can get such access to information. College is still great. I think there's a million reasons you should go. But if you're just
Mhm.
looking purely at like education, AI can also help you learn a lot. And I think it works best in tandem with college.